How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to look ahead to the start of the Premier League, and there's a full list of fixtures over the course of the weekend. And we're also going to be taking a look at Arsenal, because it looks like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is finally going to be announced as signing his new contract.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So first things first, and the Premier League is back. First set of fixtures this weekend, and it's a bit of a strange one because it doesn't really feel like we've been away. It doesn't really feel like a normal pre-season. Normally, at the point of the season starting, you have that buzz about it where you're being so deprived of football over the course of the summer, unless there's been the Euros or the World Cup or one of the South American tournaments, etc. And you're looking at it and you're like, I can't wait, my team is back, and you get to go to the opening fixture and everything else, and there's a buzz and an excitement. But this year, there's not really that buzz and that excitement, don't get me wrong. Everybody, no doubt, will be looking forward to seeing their team play again. But for Arsenal, for example, we played, a month ago, our last real competitive game in the FA Cup final. We played a couple of weeks ago against Liverpool. There doesn't seem to have been any kind of break. So have we really been away? The intriguing part is that despite the short gap, teams are going to have new players, new faces, which inevitably brings a buzz and an excitement, but there won't be that buzz and excitement inside the stadium because we're still not allowed to go. And even when fans do start to come back into the stadiums, they're going to be tests, and they're only going to be at small capacities. And with what's going on in the country at the moment, with Boris changing everything randomly whenever it suits him, I can't see football fans going back into stadiums for the foreseeable future for a very, very long time. It's all just strange how everything's working at the moment. You can't go round to a family member's house and be in that house with more than 6 members of your family, if you all don't live there, that is. But yet, you can go somewhere else and be in a bigger group that are not family. Or I can send my kids to school and put them in a class of 20 odd other children and around other people. Something don't sit right, but that's another subject for another time, trust me on that. But look, the opening fixtures. Now, there's 4 teams not going to be playing in this opening set of matches, and that is Burnley, Manchester United, and Manchester City, Aston Villa. Now, the reason for that is because Manchester United and Manchester City, because of their participation in the European competitions after the season had finished, they've been given an extra week to get themselves ready for the new season. First game is Fulham against Arsenal, 12:30 kickoff UK time. And it's a chance for Arsenal to cement their place at the top of the table. Listen, that's the best thing with Bournemouth being relegated. We are now technically top of the table. Now, for people sitting there scratching their head going, Bournemouth, Arsenal, B-A. The reason why Bournemouth are always ahead of Arsenal is because their official name is AFC Bournemouth. So, for that reason, they are always ahead of Arsenal alphabetically. So, with them being relegated, we're now top alphabetically. Small things, but there we go. You know what? I've had this discussion with Robbie as well, and I think that this is kind of an easier game than it should be against Fulham, not taking anything away. What Scott Parker's done there, getting them back into the Premier League, superb. But first game of the season, newly promoted side at their home ground. it would normally be a really difficult place to go. Fans will be buzzing, stadium will be packed, and it'd be really, really difficult. I remember when Norwich got promoted last season. All right, their results didn't really reflect some of their performances, but you remember how they started their life in the Premier League after they got that Liverpool game out of the way. And there was that buzz and that excitement about them, and it was difficult. And then things started to even itself out. So, given the fact that there's no fans allowed in the stadium, could well be the advantage that Arsenal need and make it a little bit less difficult, like I was saying. But can't take it away from Fulham. They're a good side. And you're going to have to take this one seriously. And yeah, it'd be an interesting game, that's for sure. Another game is Crystal Palace against Southampton. And it'd be interesting to see what happens with Crystal Palace. Wilfried Zaha is still there. Looks like they've got Batshuayi in as well from Chelsea on loan. Southampton, Danny Ings, of course, last season, absolutely brilliant. And that would be a very interesting game. And this one is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching this one later on in the evening. And it's Liverpool against Leeds United. Leeds recently promoted, making some big signings as well. Liverpool, how will they fare? Defending champions. Things are always a little bit different once you've won the league. But Liverpool, they'll want to get off to a winning start. West Ham against Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle, they haven't had their takeover. And they haven't got the likes of Neymar and Mbappe up front like some people may have thought. But they have been making some signings and some very decent signings. So it'd be interesting to see their lineup. West Ham, they're in a mess as far as I'm concerned. And they're one of my favourites to be relegated. And David Moyes is one of my favourites to be sacked first in terms of Premier League managers. So interesting game as well. Sunday, this is going to be an interesting one. In the Midlands, West Brom against Leicester. West Brom newly promoted, a couple of good signings in there as well. Leicester, they're going to want to, finish off where they left off, shall we say, last year. I know it was a little disappointing that they didn't get into the Champions League, but they had a good season, and they're going to want to get their form back up because I don't think it was that good after lockdown, and even before lockdown, it started to dip. So that would be interesting. Tottenham against Everton. Now this will be a very interesting game because Everton have made a lot of signings and they made some very, very good signings. Will they be involved in this game though? Being the fact it's the first and those signings only came in this week. Interesting to see. Monday there's two games and there's Sheffield United against Wolves. Big game this one to start off. Two sides that were battling it out in the top six and for a Champions League place. Sheffield United, second season syndrome. Will they be able to overcome that? Lost their best player in my opinion in Henderson. Made some good signings though. They brought the young lad in from Chelsea as well. Another Chelsea player that's been sent out on loan because now they can spend money. Wolves, they're going to want to carry on where they left off last year because they had a brilliant season. And the last game of the first set of fixtures is Brighton against Chelsea. Now what's interesting about this game is Chelsea have made a whole host of signings, but they're having a bit of an injury crisis already. Thiago Silva looks like he's going to miss this game. Ziyech is out as well. Ben Chilwell is out. So a lot of the new names and the new signings are not actually going to be there. And it'd be interesting to see how Chelsea fare. If they don't get off to a winning start, then I feel the pressure is on Frank Lampard already. Trust me, it is. Because when you spend the kind of money they have, you need to get results. And Roman Abramovich will definitely want results. That's for sure. So some interesting fixtures over the course of the weekend. And the Premier League is back. Now, the next piece of news involves Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and we finally may well be able to put this saga to bed because reports were saying yesterday that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has agreed and signed his new contract with Arsenal. That the news was broke by David Ornstein, and normally when he breaks the news, it's because it's genuine. Now a lot of people are saying that it will be announced today. I've seen videos on Instagram of his brothers coming back into the country. And we already know that his family are his agents. They are so close, you know, in terms of everything that they do with the football inside and that. And when Aubameyang first signed for Arsenal, it was his dad and his brothers that were there when the contract was being signed and everything else. So it makes sense. But apparently from the reports, like I was saying, is that the contract is signed, it's done, it's dusted. They've even gone on to say that Aubameyang turned down a couple of clubs. There was 2 in Spain and there was 1 in Italy. And he's decided that he wants to stay. Now, they've also said that a lot of this work went down to Raul Sanelli before he left. It was then finished off by Edu, and Mikel Arteta was instrumental in Aubameyang deciding to stay. And I think now you might be able to look at the FA Cup win and see just how important that was, because maybe that was what tipped it in the balance for Aubameyang, that he could see that the team are capable of winning trophies. And as captain, he's got everything he needs right here. Be a part of what we want to build. That's all I can say. And if that does get announced today, then I'll tell you something, within 5 minutes of that announcement, you can expect a video. You know it's pre-recorded. It's been there for ages. Just look at the difference in the facial hair and then you can tell how long ago that I probably had it done. It was so long ago, I probably can't even remember when I actually recorded it. But Aubameyang, it looks like it's done. It looks like he has signed a new contract. And I'm absolutely buzzing. And the one thing I will say as well, because I know the press are very sneaky how they do this, is that a lot of the reports were saying that Aubameyang is going to be on over £350,000 a week, which is more than Mesut Ozil. Now, that's not actually the case. The wage is structured so that if he gets add-ons and incentives and achieves certain things at the club, it will accumulate to over 350,000. But the base is around 250, which is what we all knew about. Now, one of the objectives from what we're hearing is Arsenal win the Premier League, he gets a hefty bonus. Let me explain something. If Arsenal win the Premier League in the time that Aubameyang's left at the club, he deserves that bonus. I don't think there's any fan that gives a shit about that bonus if he achieves it, because it's worth it. And I can't say no more than that. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. What game are you looking forward to seeing the most over the course of the weekend? Aubameyang, how happy are you? And can we finally get it announced officially? And then there's another video. So, yeah, there's that video. Of course, there's going to be the preview and the predicted lineup to the game against Fulham. There's going to be player ratings as well. I will not be on the watch along for AFTV this weekend because DTFC are playing. Luckily for me, with the game being 12:30, I can watch the game myself before my team actually kick off, but I will not be able to be where the location is to film and then get to my game. It just doesn't work. So I'm going to pop in and see Robbie after it's all said and done, give my thoughts on the game, maybe do the player ratings, but for the watch along itself, I will not be there. So for anyone that does tune in to watch it and says, where's DT? Well, you know why. My team's playing and that's where I'm going to be. So if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, make sure you smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.